Tottenham and Real Madrid are two of the biggest clubs in the world. Both have had serious injury problems this season, as you well know. So naturally, the internet's looking for a solution, and I saw this tweet on X, which I thought was very interesting about this hypothesis that it might be the pitch and that these new retractable, highly engineered surfaces might be the problem. But the real question here is the pitch actually causing these injuries, or is it exposing something a lot deeper? Now, to be clear, there's always been injuries in football, there's always been ACLs torn in football, but the research doesn't show there's one simple answer. It doesn't say like new pitches equal more injuries. In fact, at the elite level, overall injury rates between surfaces are often very similar, but when you're starting to see high injury volume clusters in knee injuries, repeated muscular injuries, then this is worth asking the question, because this isn't a normal pitch anymore. Tottenham's pitch is built into sections and literally rolls out. Real Madrid's pitch actually drops down into an underground chamber where it's in a controlled environment, and they control the lights, the airflow, the humidity, everything is engineered. These surfaces are designed to be perfect, and in sport, perfect doesn't always mean safer. Sometimes it means it's less forgiving. Think about running on grass versus running on a brand new indoor track. One gives slightly under your foot, the other gives you everything back instantly. The modern pitches are much closer to this in my opinion, and this is what comes down to this key idea that we need to think about here is traction. How much is the foot sticking to the ground before it is released? Now, this isn't just theory. There's actually a lot of research to show that these modern surfaces have up to 15 to 22% higher rotational resistance than natural grass. In simple terms, your foot sticks and is more likely to get stuck. So when you plant your foot, it doesn't slide, it doesn't adjust, it just sticks. And when it sticks, the force doesn't disappear. It travels up through the ankle, into the knee, into the hip, and that is where the ACL injuries live. Foot fixed, tibia planted, femur rotates over the top, add fatigue, add poor positioning, and the knee is taking a force it was never meant to handle, because there's a key point. Most ACL injuries don't actually happen because of tackles or contact. Actually, around 70 to 80% of ACL injuries are non-contact. They happen during movements like cutting, decelerating, changing direction. Now compare that to natural grass. On grass, the ground can fail, it can tear, it can slip, it can give, and on an engineered surface, it just doesn't do this. And this is the part no one's talking about, because the pitch isn't the problem on its own. It's the interaction between the pitch and the player. If you're an elite athlete and you can't control the hips under load, stabilize that pelvis and that rib cage, absorb the force through the glutes, then your foot sticks, the knee becomes the shock absorber. And it gets deeper than that. On these surfaces, players actually move differently. They land with less knee bend and they have more force going through the joint. So now you've got more force, less absorption, and that's not a great combination. And injury risk is never just one thing, it's always a system. It's the surface, it's the boot, the fatigue, the schedule, the previous injuries, and the movement quality. When these all line up, then that's when injuries happen, and fatigue is the multiplier. Late in the game, reaction time drops, coordination drops, joint control drops, your hamstrings, which protect your ACL, are slower to activate. And when you're late, ligaments take the actual load, and this is where breathing actually matters in your game. If your anaerobic system isn't efficient, you fatigue a lot faster. If you fatigue a lot faster, then the mechanics break down sooner. And on surfaces like we've just talked about, then the risk starts to spike. So no, the pitch isn't the cause of injuries, but it's the changing of environment to reduce that margin of error. Football just hasn't got faster, the ground has too. And if the player hasn't adapted, something else has got to give. If you want to understand how this all connects together, breathing, biomechanics, performance, then subscribe to this channel. This is what it's all about. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this breakdown of whether or not it's the pitch surface. I think we can conclude that it's not just one thing, it's a multifaceted thing. The thing I focus on here as a coach, as a content creator, is the biomechanics, the breathing aspect of that, to reduce fatigue, reduce fatiguing, have good mechanics to be able to absorb these loads. But I hope that video kind of breaks down and answers that initial question that was posted there on X. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure before you go to like and subscribe and do all that great stuff. It costs you nothing but means the world to me if I see that subscribe button hit by you watching this, and I will see you on the next one.